Solitude as silence. In silence and quiet, the devout mind, the devout soul goes more further in these two parts, silence and solitude. Let's read some chapters. Seek a proper time to retire into thyself and often think of the benefits of God. Let curiosities alone. Reach, read such matters as may rather move thee to composition than give thee occupation. If thou wilt withdraw thyself from superfluous talk and idle visit, as so as as also from giving ear to news and to reports, thou wilt find time insufficient and prepare to employ thyself in good meditation. The greatest saints avoid the company of men as much as they could and chose to live to God in secret. The old saints, they chose to live with God in secret because this way you can find solitude and silence is not by communicating, talking longer. This page this thing I just said now, this page will tell you the meaning of what I just said. To be talking longer to a man with your fellow human being. You cannot talk longer with your fellow human being, but when you want to have a solitude and silence, you have to communicate in secrets, which is God. You communicate with secrets. You will retire thyself by communicating with secrets. When you communicate with secrets, your heart and your soul will go much more further in deep and finding and manufacturing something that you want to have, that you want to experience in life. Let's dive into some of the chapters. It is easier to be altogether silent than not to exceed in words. It is easier to all silence together than not to exceed in words. Can you be silent? Like, can you and your family be sitting in the couch, let's take for instance, and be silent for like 20 minutes or 30 minutes? Can you do that? Can that be a challenge for you? I don't think you can. But I can't answer it. You can answer it yourself. And answer it, in the comment section. It is easier to keep retired at home than to be able to be insufficiently upon one's guard abroad. It is easier for you to retire in home in order to find a secret place for you in your house, in your home, in order to do what I'm talking about. Do what I'm talking about, like to have a solitude and silence, to go much, much deeper in manufacturing what you want, in deeper sense of yours, in silence. Silence is like silence is danger to so many of us because so many of us don't equip it in real life. So many of us don't know what the silence means. So many of us, silence is very difficult for us to keep for a while, for a minute, just only ourselves, in order to think about something, not to speak it mouth, not to talk it to a man, but you can. Like, so many of us don't do it. So many of us regard as silence as the dangerous, like, emotion that they can ever feel in life. Whatsoever, therefore, and means to arrive. Whatsoever therefore, and means at arriving at in inquiry and spiritual things must, with Jesus, go aside from the crowd. So if you want to live your life in spiritual and in meditation, if you are meditating, let's take for instance, if you are meditating now, you cannot come outside here or outside the crowd be meditating. How can you hear yourself? How can your thoughts bring you out the good thing that you need to meditate? How can your thoughts do that? Your thoughts can never do that, because you are in a crowd place. You are not in a silent place. In order to meditate with your God, in order to go and manufacture those little things that you need to you need to meditate in your life. That's how it is. If you want to communicate with Jesus, if you want to communicate with your inner being, you have to be solitude and silence, which is often happens in a silent place. That's the time you can go inside yourself in order to think about something. No man is secure in appearing abroad, but he who would willingly lay hid at home. You see it? No man securely speak, but he who loves to hold his peace. No man securely govern, but he who would willingly live in subjection. No man securely commands, but he who has learned well to obey. No man securely No man securely rejoiceth unless he hath within him the testimony of a good conscience. You see it? You see it? If you go through this, you don't have a testimony, like you will tell a good story that when you are silent, that you can speak loudly and correctly, and like you can go inside yourself and find those things that is discomforting you, the way you can solve it in your life. You can tell the testimony that you do it, unless you obey to make it in silence, not to make it in a crowded place. You can hear. Yet the security of the saints were always full of the fear of God. Neither were they less careful or humble in themselves, because they were shining with great virtues and grace. This is about the saints. But the security of the wicked arises from pride and presumption, and will end in deceiving themselves. For the wicked, I don't know who is the wicked, but you look at it yourself. Never promise thyself security in this life, though seems to be a good religious man or a devout hermit. Don't promise some this place is making me laugh now. Don't promise someone a security. In either it is a religious man, or it is a Christianic, or whatever religious the person is. If the person stands still in his religion, his or her religion, never promise the person a security. So secure him. Neither secure yourself. Neither secure thyself, because you can't do it. You can't, my brother. This is the end of it. You can't do it. Secure yourself in the silence place where you can communicate and meditate and have a good, absolutely mindset, conscience to find and to solve and to manufacture what you need to manufacture, but do it in silence and solitude. So I'm gonna see you in the next one. Subscribe to the channel. This have been long, like The video, I thought the video would not be long, but it's now long. And I'm gonna see you in the next one, bro. Subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. And be coming back. See you in the next one.